Welcome to the Maury County Spotlight, where local sports, community stories, and hometown pride take center stage. From big plays to big personalities, this show is a platform for those who gain success through sports here in Maury County. I'm your host, Landen Secrest, a proud native of Columbia and a former dual sport athlete myself, ready to guide the conversation with the past, present, and future of Maury County sports. What's up, everybody? It's the Maury County Spotlight with Landen Secrest, and today I've got a guest joining me that I'm sure a lot of folks have been waiting for, one of the premier athletes in Maury County, quarterback of Columbia Central Lions football, Daniel Booker. Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm glad to be here, man.
Yeah, bro, I'm so happy that we finally get to make this happen. I know a lot of people want to hear from you. And like we were talking before the show, I'm so proud of you because, we have a history. I remember us going to church together. Our families know each other. And just to see you prosper the way you are, bro, it means a lot just to share the space with you like this, man. It's really cool.
Definitely. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. You doing your thing all on the radio show, you feel me? You the big dog, you feel me? Proud of you too, man. You feel me? You getting us players out there,
Yeah.
getting us a little exposed, I feel like a lot of people nowadays need, the public speaking. They need to learn, you feel me, to do that and to be able to talk to people publicly because, if we do make it, that's a big role in life, with sports and all that. So yeah, man, you doing your thing. I'm proud of you too.
Yeah, bro, I appreciate it. So, Dan, I usually start the show. I ask the folks where did they have their first memories in sport? Pop Warner football. What's the first sport you played growing up, and do you remember being good at it at all or not?
Definitely, yeah, I remember being good. The first sport I ever played was definitely football. I started when I was 5 over at the CYAA Pop Warner Field for the Columbia Lions. I played there from 5 to however old I was in 7th grade. That's when I started middle school football in 7th grade. So I played for them from 5 to 12, 13, or however old I was. But yeah, man, playing quarterback my whole life, of course in Little League I was playing running back, kickoff return, whatever, whatnot. That's Little League. Everybody does a little bit of everything. But yeah, I've only played one other sport, and that was in middle school, 7th and 8th grade. I played basketball. But other than that, man, it's been football my whole life. I live, I breathe, I sleep it. Football, 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 man.
Yeah, that's crazy. So when you say you grew up playing the sport, obviously you live, breathe, eat it, sleep, all that. Who were some players that you looked up to, maybe NFL guys that you looked up to and said, "Hey, I might be Daniel Booker now, but I'm gonna be like that guy when I grow up." Who was that guy for you?
I as a kid, I wasn't a huge football NFL guy. You feel me? I didn't get the college thing or whatnot. I watched more NFL when I was younger, with my family and stuff on Sunday nights or whatnot. But the only player I can really remember just being an athlete when I was a kid is Odell Beckham. And you feel me? I never really compared myself to him, but as I started getting older, closer towards middle school and whatnot, I really started liking Jalen Hurts, man. I feel like my play style and my build and my mindset for the game is Jalen Hurts 2.0. I think he's a crazy athlete. He was at Bama, he transferred to Oklahoma, I believe so. But man, he's a dog. And he ain't nothing, correct me if I'm wrong, he ain't nothing but 6'1", 6'2". Guys like
Yeah, he's not a big dude.
Bryce Young, yeah, Bryce Young, dude, the same height. He's a dog. He dominated at Alabama. He had a little rough start to the NFL, but now he's slinging it around, man. He's a leader for them. Uh, Last year and the year before, I was big into Diego, man. Diego Pavia for Vanderbilt, man. He's a dog. So those are some players I kind of watch more than others. But yeah, I have to say definitely Jalen Hurts and Bryce Young my top two.
Yeah, those are good choices, and it's ironic that you say Jalen Hurts because he's one of my favorite players too. I just love it the way he approaches the game. He's so professional and it's very businesslike. And obviously, being a quarterback in the NFL is one of the hardest jobs in the world. And I think he's gone through adversity. I mean, he's a good testament of losing the Super Bowl, coming back, losing his job in college to Tua. all of those things. So that's a good choice, and I can see a lot of him in you as well. But for sure, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool that you have those guys that you look up to. Now, we talked about middle school a little bit there, and you said you play basketball as well. But I think, in middle school, you kind of really figure out that, hey, I can be good at sports. And, you get your friends telling you you're really good, and you go out there and you are successful in middle school. Talk about playing middle school football, man, because I feel like that's when a lot of people really figured out who Daniel Booker was. Talk about your experience.
Yeah, definitely. Middle school football, man. Like I said, I started playing seventh grade. For the EA Couch Cougars, man. We had another guy I was splitting reps with at quarterback. Seventh grade, you feel me? I was an athlete, but I was fresh coming out of little league, so it's a big step. I always tell people from little league to middle school and from middle school to high school is like 10 huge steps that you got to learn. You feel me? You got to grow and all that. But seventh grade year, I was an athlete. I played a couple different positions. I think I played receiver, running back, and quarterback. Getting a couple reps at wherever. And then eighth grade year is when I really flipped the switch, and I was like, okay, it's time to turn it on. It's my eighth grade year, and we got a new coach, Coach Montana. He came in. He did his thing. Great coach. We had a crazy eighth grade football team. You ask
Yeah.
me, I don't think it's a better eighth grade football team to ever come through Maury County. But yeah, man, we had some dogs. But yeah, Coach Montana was a great coach, man. He came in and from the get go, he told us like I'm building y'all for high school football. Like, and I truly believe he definitely did that. And yeah, eighth grade was a good year, man. It's just something I'll never forget, even though, I was real young. I was a kid, man, but yeah, eighth grade was legendary. We won the middle school championship, the conference championship, and I think I had like 1,200 yards or something like that with
Yeah.
so many touchdowns or whatnot. But yeah, man, eighth grade was nice.
Yeah, bro, that's cool because that's a core memory for you. And obviously, like I said, I relive my eighth grade years and think about it with some of my homies from back then as well. And like that's something you'll remember forever, playing for EA Cox, man. So that's cool that you can remember that, and especially Coach Montana. I know he was very impactful on you as well. Now, obviously, Daniel, a lot of people know you now as a quarterback at Columbia Central Football, but talk about kind of adjusting early on when you were freshman, sophomore years in high school, and how those years really helped you become the man you are and the player that you are now.
Definitely, man. So freshman year, I'm just gonna pinpoint back on the eighth grade stuff. Eighth grade year, we had a crazy football team. So we had Liam Titus. This is players that I played with after middle school. We had Liam Titus, huge guy in middle school, just a powerhouse. You couldn't stop it. It was really unfair. But Liam Titus, we had Jake Lovett, and I still play with Jake. He's our starting right guard. We had Nazir Carter. He got injured, so he didn't play with us. But we had him. We had Nike. We had Key. A lot of those guys don't play sports anymore. Unfortunately, life hits and things change. Not everybody sticks with it. But I still play with Jake Lovett. He's our starting right guard for Columbia. Nazir, that's like my brother, man. I love that guy to death. He plays at Mount Pleasant. And Liam, he plays for Brentwood Academy and was just in the state championship last year when they lost to Baylor. So, playing with those guys and coming up, Liam was going to Central for freshman and sophomore year, and it was great playing with him. I went to Mount Pleasant for the summer of my ninth grade year, and in the first 2 weeks I was at Mount Pleasant. Man, the football was great. The coaches they were great. The football was fine. I was getting the hang of it. Uh, but dude, the school it just I wasn't feeling. And then I had some life stuff going on. Big transition. I tell everybody in life, change is difficult. You feel me? You got to be mentally set for change in life. Period. Not just football, just in life. And I was facing some adversity, and I just wasn't comfortable. And I try to stick it out for the 2 weeks, and I just wasn't feeling the school. So I transferred to Central. Of course, I was ineligible, so I couldn't play varsity. So I was kind of coming to practice, but not really coming to practice. I was coming home. I would babysit my sister's kids for her because she didn't get off work till like 4:30. So I'd watch my niece and nephew for an hour or whatnot. And not only come, you could ask Coach Andres Booker, man, he used to be so mad at me freshman year. I'd come the day before JV game and JV games, he sit me out half the JV game and then I play the other half. But You feel me? I wasn't, my head wasn't on my shoulders all the way, wasn't making all the right decisions, but that happened. And I'd only come on JV days or whatnot. Then sophomore year was coming around. It was freshman spring, and the quarterback back then, Burton, that I was splitting reps with my sophomore year, he was playing baseball. So it was like, okay, now it's time to take the money. So you feel me? I was at spring football getting the reps and doing all of that type of stuff. It worked good. Then here comes summer ball. Burton's back. We're splitting reps or whatnot. You feel me? Of course, I've got the legs on me, so anytime we're running, counter or whatnot,
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of split reps or whatnot. But that happened, and I'd say sophomore year is when I really tried to, like, I straightened up. I got the drift of it. I wasn't all the way there yet, but I was getting the hang of. I was showing up, coming to practice, doing whatnot, and back to the Mount Pleasant part. I met a dude named Ned Rich. He's a great guy, best man I've ever met in my life, dude. He played a big role on me. With his talks and all this and fighting adversity and just about life, not just about football, but just being a man. Becoming a man, doing what you got to do, doing the right things and whatnot. But I met him, and then I went to Central or whatnot, and little did I know, him and Trey D, our head coach, are real tight. They're good friends or buddies or whatnot. And but yeah, man, just hanging around Coach Ned, I'm sure you might know him. Everybody knows him, he's like a legend around here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
getting
Ned
real close
Rich. Yes,
to him,
sir.
yeah. Yeah, he taught me a lot of stuff, man. That's like I said, that's the greatest man I've ever met. But that's really what helped me, straighten up. He was telling me this and that, not everybody's got the perfect life, but you gotta fight. You feel me? How bad do you want it? You gotta suffer to succeed. And so I started getting the hang of it. Sophomore year, I think I had 600 total yards, nothing crazy. Just as an athlete, I was playing receiver, running back, and quarterback as well. And
Right.
so that season ended. We got beat first round of playoffs to Page. They didn't kill us, but I think the score was like 19-2 or 20 something to two. Nothing crazy, but we didn't get to score the ball. And then that ended, and Burton transferred the quarterback that I was splitting reps with my sophomore year. And then junior season came around. I was like, all right, junior season's coming. Colleges can look at me now. They can talk to me. Let's flip that switch. It was head down and eat from there. It was work, 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 work. Junior season came around. Man, I just started working, and thank God, you feel me? God has, you feel me, straightened me out and put me on the right path and gave me the vision to, you feel me, do right and all that. And yeah, so junior season came around and first game happened, and we had some mistakes happen there. Kickoff, we had two kickoff returns scored on us. We lost that game by a touchdown or two. But man, I remember after the first game of my junior season, I called my uh I called my offensive coordinator because I looked at the stats. They put him on max preps, and I was like,
Right.
I went for 330 yards my first game. It never happened to me. You feel me? This
Right.
5A high school football. I was like, even
Yeah.
though we lost, I was like, dang, like this is it. You feel me? We doing it. You feel me? It's all gas. Yeah, that was kind of like the eye opener for me. You feel me? Junior season, it was crazy, man.
Yeah. And everything that you said there was really insightful for me to learn about you and even the stuff that I don't know. And what that told me was you being in Mount Pleasant, your experience in Mount Pleasant really helped develop you as far as maturity, not even athletically wise, to the man that you are today. Is it wrong for me to say, giving some credit to your Mount Pleasant experience to shape you
No,
into
you're not
what you
wrong
are
at
right
all.
now? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, man. Like I said, the football, those coaches, dude, they're great, man. You feel me? There was nothing wrong with the football. I couldn't adapt to it. I didn't have friends. I kind of feel like I needed that somebody to talk to in class. To laugh with, not say just be a class clown, but someone to talk to. And even like the football players, I had nobody in my classes, dude. Like they all had classes together. I had no one, so it was kind of like just lonely. It was like depressing. I was like, ugh, I had to get out of there. And all my friends was already at Central. We're all zone for Central and this, and that. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go home, see what it's like, and then it was good from there on, man.
Yeah, and that's really cool. And once again, shout out to Ned Rich. I know he's a great dude. He helped you a lot. So continuous shout outs to that man. But Daniel, you talked about, athletically when you kind of saw yourself and you realized that, hey, I can take this opportunity, I can eat. And for me last year, seeing you kind of burst onto the scene as a consistent player in and out, as the quarterback, obviously a huge run threat, and obviously you can throw the ball as well. But Daniel, when did you realize last year, throughout the course of the season, you kind of took your licks, you got a lot more responsibility as far as last year, but you guys win a lot of games. You make the playoffs, you win the region championship, you break records in the playoffs, score 70 points. You become a player that rushes for 1,000 and passes for 1,000. You're the region MVP. When did you realize that, like, I have a chance to do all these things? Did you realize it during the course of the season that you were going to be that good last year?
I wouldn't say I did. Like I knew I was going. My mindset just coming onto the field is I'm the best player on the field. I'm not saying I'm the best athletic. I'm not saying I'm the best athlete. I'm not saying I'm the fastest. I'm not the biggest. I'm not the strongest. But my mindset coming onto the field is no one's going to outwork me. It's as simple as that. I want this more than I believe I want this more than anyone on this field, and I'm willing to put my life on the line if I have to do so. Any licks I gotta take or anybody I gotta hit or whatnot, I'm gonna do that. You feel me? I always come onto the field with the acknowledgement knowing ain't nobody gonna outwork me. And if you think you are, come get it.
Yeah, most definitely. And last year seeing your growth from game to game, obviously you guys experienced some losses like you were saying at Dixon and then versus Marshall County and then some tougher games, but you also have some really high highs. And I want to pinpoint the region championship game at Tullahoma. Did you feel any pressures headed into that game? Because you guys end up being perfect in the region, not dropping the game, but that game down in Tullahoma, I mean, that was for all the marbles. That was for playoff positioning and all that. Talk about your mentality, what it was headed into that game last season. Really, the biggest game on the schedule before the playoffs.
Definitely, it was definitely something in the air. This the region championship. Beating Lincoln, them being the powerhouse in the region or whatnot. After we beat them, it was like, okay, we got one more game to go. You feel me? Even though we beat Lincoln, it wasn't. You feel me? The cap wasn't on the bottle yet. So you feel me? It could still be water. Could still be spilt. So going into that, we was like, this is it. This is region champs. I believe it's been since Coach Golf was playing since we won the region or something like that. But it's been a while. And, we were just telling ourselves like, look, man, we finna go in here and win. As a family, as a brotherhood. Like I always say, man, football wouldn't be football without the guys. We was going in as a family. Like, look, we finna give it to them. You feel me? We gonna do this and that. And I believe we was down 2 touchdowns or whatnot going into the half. And we came back out and we went in the locker room and we was just like, look, bro, this ain't it. You feel me? We finna come out with our foot on the gas and our foot on their throats. It's nothing but that. And man, we faced a little adversity the first half, I believe so. And man, we came out with the mindset. That was like you said, that was definitely there was a lot of stuff in the air that game. Region championship, of course, Town Home was kind of like, oh, we finna beat them and that. But yeah, man, we put up a fight and we came out with the dub, man. And that was amazing as a team, you feel me, as a family to be able to say we're region championships for the first time in however long it's been.
Yeah, that was really historic. Just a moment for Columbia football, Maury County football. I mean, seeing Central back on kind of that mountaintop was really cool. But Daniel, you guys go to the playoffs. Obviously, historic first round game. You score 70 points and you rush for about 700 yards. You, Honey, Jamari. I mean, all those guys and the crew. I mean, what was it like in that game? Because I know I was on the sideline, and after you scored, one, two, three touchdowns, I was like, book might break the record. Like, can we check the record book and see like what's the touchdowns and all that? What was it like in that game? Because I mean, have you ever scored 70 points in a game? What was that like?
No, I have never done what I did that night, man. That night was legendary, not just for me, but for my team, my O line, dude. They were killing them, we came out, like I said, for some reason, dude, always first quarter, we have a little battle, we wobble a little bit before we get in our deep stance, sit strong, but I remember first drive we came out, we had a little bit of trouble. They stopped us. Then I believe second drive, I know I threw a pick trying to roll to the right and throw it back to the left. That's a mistake on me. And I was like, dang, man, you feel me? I got to pick it up. And then we spreaded them out a little bit because, of course, they loaded the crap out of the box, which most teams do with us because, we're such a run heavy team. And you feel me? We're gonna hit you in the mouth. And, but no, we figured it out, dude. And I remember just the first touchdown, then the second, then the third. And I remember that week before, man, my coaches was telling me, like, look, dude, you're a great runner, but you can be better. Work on
Right.
your footwork. So I remember just later towards the season, just working on my footwork, with a couple coaches after practice, setting combs up, keeping my balance. If someone tries to come at me a certain way, there's ways I can avoid tackles. I don't always have to, hit somebody or whatnot. But yeah, man, just working on footwork, keeping balance and stuff. And I just remember, man, they kept coming low. And my coaches told me, don't let one man tackle you. You feel me? You a pretty solid dude.
Yeah.
You ain't gigantic, but you 6 foot right on 200. You feel me? Give it to him. And so I was like, man, you're right. I can't let one dude tackle me. So I just remember, them ankle biting and me just swiping helmets down, or making just a slight cut, like because in football generally, if you don't put your chest on somebody, a lot of times people miss tackles, especially if you're an athlete. You can avoid that. So if you don't have your chest on me, a little arm tackle ain't gonna get me. So I remember that, like I said that week before, just practice on getting off somebody's center. So you feel me? If they're coming at me head
Mm-hmm.
on, just getting to the right a little bit, or just getting to the left a little bit, just to them to, you feel me? Just put their arm on me and me be able to miss it, man. But yeah, I remember, man, just missing tackles, making people miss tackles left and right.
It was crazy, dude. Like
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
the environment in the stadium that night, I mean, it was just absolutely crazy. And then you guys go on into the second round, obviously high expectations, another home playoff game. And Daniel, the scene headed into that game was Knoxville Central has got a Mr. Football candidate, Caden Long, really good quarterback. And you guys go head to head. What did you learn from that matchup that you can take into this season now knowing that you're going to be a Mr. Football candidate? People are counting on you to take Central back to the promised land. What can you learn from a playoff loss and going up against a top player like him in a game like that?
And I knew going into it he was a great player. I believe he had the most yards in 5A football. Like, because I check Max Preps all the time, look at player stats, look at opponent teams, and I believe he was number one with, like, I want to say 3,500 total yards, almost 4,000 or something like that. I was like, dang, man, numbers don't lie. And, West Tennessee and East Tennessee and Middle Tennessee is different types of football in those areas. So, of course you play different teams, more pass heavy teams, more run heavy teams. But, man, I was looking at stats and I was like, okay, we're going to get some competition, man. This dude, you feel me? He can run it. He's a dual threat. He can throw it. Just going in, I was like, okay, this ain't gonna be easy. We're not just gonna get handed the W. So going in, you feel me? Same mindset, kill or be killed, man. And we went in. And I think we did pretty good as a team. I think that game I had 300 yards, or 280 or something like that. I know I had a good amount of yards that game, but man, we put up a fight. They came out on top. Mistakes were made, just little bitty stuff that gets you beat in the long run. But definitely can learn, like I've been saying, just correct on the small things, But when I'm in the pocket pass and sit in the pocket, I tend to feel pressure. Once that first sack comes, then the second sack, then I'm ready to move. As soon as I see a linebacker blitzing or a DN coming off the edge, I'm ready to get out of there. You feel me? My reaction time is like this. I want to go. You feel me? If I feel pressure, I want to get
Yeah.
out of there. But just like stuff like that, man. Just sitting in the pocket. You feel me? Throwing the ball, let my receivers get open. Making the right cuts, making the right reads. But from that game specifically, what that game taught me was to not fold under pressure and fight until the end. You feel me? Correct yourself. Do what you can do to win the game. And like I was saying, I mean, I mean, it's almost every game. Every game that I lose, you feel me? I can name 3 or 4 or 5 mistakes that I made just on myself, not even including my team, just on me. That hey, if I would have did that differently, or if I would have stepped up here, or if I would have completed that pass, or if I would have made this cut instead of making this cut, you feel me? The whole team would be in a different position.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that, Dan. Now, when you look at this season and everything that you experienced last season, you guys win the region, you have a great season, your teammates have great years. This year's team, what do you think the strengths are? Some players that might emerge. You got Honey coming back, Jamari Hall. You got a great offensive line. Talk about some of the guys this year and kind of how excited you guys are for this upcoming season.
I was just gonna say that, man. Shout out to my boy Hani in the backfield, man. The East Hamilton game, the first playoff game when I broke the record, I think he went for 250 or 300 rushing yards too. He had a blast that game too, man. He showed out, but definitely Hani he's developed a lot, throughout the whole season last year. He got better and better every game, just mentally, just IQ, making right cuts, doing things right. He's a killer, man. He's definitely an underdog. He's underrated. You feel me? When they see Honey, he's little guy.
Yeah.
We gonna see if he's little guy. Honey's got that dog, man. I love being in the backfield with him. And Maury Brown, man, freak athlete, dude. Anytime he touches the ball, it's risky. He's liable to go for 80 yards, 90 yards to a touchdown just off a screen. Against Battle Creek, he touched the ball 6 times or however many times he touched the ball and was in the end zone every time he touched the ball. Just off screen. He was making me look 10 times better off of stats. I throw a freaking 10-yard screen and he goes 50 yards touchdown. So yeah, he's a freaking crazy athlete, man. He's quick, he's fast, and he's got that winning mentality, man. He wants to win too. Maury Hall, man, big guy, swole linebacker. He gonna come and hit you. He's a big impact on the team too. He's also our starting tight end. So he'll be getting some action on offense too. I'm not a huge defense guy. I'm more of on the offense side. So we're gonna get him the ball a little bit this year. Cam Bridges, heck of a receiver. Dallas King, heck of a receiver. Dallas King make plays when we play Riverdale. Man, one thing I love about Dallas is wherever I go, he goes. You feel
Yeah.
me? If the pocket collapses and I roll right and his routes a post and he's running left, he's gonna go back right and follow me, man. I remember against Riverdale, we ran a flood concept and I rolled left and I rolled right and I rolled back left. It was like I was in the backfield for like 8 seconds long, and the next thing I know, the coverage is busted and DK's 30 yards down the field wide open, nowhere near him for 20 yards. So I throw it to him, and that's the only time we scored on Riverdale, man, because they're a 6'8" powerhouse. But yeah, DK's a heck of a receiver. Cam Bridges, freak athlete as well. Fast, slim, he Cam reminds me of a Devontae Smith type of guy. So he'll definitely be a sneak attack this year. But yeah, man, just a team around, man. We're crazy loaded. A heck of an O line, dude. Our freaking O line's crazy. Like I think half of our O line's benching 315. Zane Nash, linebacker and a running back, dude. That I watched this guy bench 315 for 2 reps the
Oh
other
my
day.
God.
Yeah, 2 reps, and it was moving. I was like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, come on, he's like a big old swole. Like, what are you doing, man? He's huge. And just with Zane in the backfield, man, he's a hard hitter, a heavy runner, and man, running behind him is even my receivers just running behind those guys, man. They make me look 10 times better, man. Like I said, my team's a brotherhood. They make me look 1,000 times better. Uh, Freaking crap, man. We played the other day. Trey Johnson, he's a new guy. A Zion transfer. We got him, man. It was crazy watching him. We played CPA, and man, it's this 205 pound DB, big swole guy. And Trey ain't nothing but a buck 50, a buck 40. He's blocking his tail off, man. I scramble to the left, and he's in the end zone just blocking him. I just walk right in for the touchdown. It's like moments like that, you feel me? That's real love. Like that makes me want to stop mid play and run up and give him a big old hug. You feel me? But I can't do that, man. But yeah, man, my guys fight, man. I'm proud of them. I love them. I'm ready to go to war with them.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like you're uber confident in your team, and that's the biggest thing, especially when a lot of people are counting on you. It's great that you have other people to count on as well. Now, Book, we know that a lot of eyes are going to be on you this year as far as being a Mr. Football. candidate. People are expecting you to lead Central back to the promised land. You guys have a great team filled with talent across the board, and you guys have a great coaching staff. It's pretty much all systems go. What do you see coming out from this year? Team goals, and where do you see yourself? You're going to probably be playing college football next year. What are some of your goals for this season?
But man, my goals is just dominate. Not little to no mistakes. Reading the right plays, very little to none incomplete pass. Getting my guys the ball, making the right reads, keeping my footwork right, sitting in the pocket. Man, if I would love to go for the goal. Now this might not happen, but I like to set myself at a standard to get to 3,500 or 4,000 yards total, no matter where that is, rushing and passing or whatnot. And I want to get 45 touchdowns.
That sounds
40 to
pretty good.
45 touchdowns. Yeah, because last year total, I believe I had like 2,800,
Yeah.
2,900, and something real close to 3,000. I had 36 total touchdowns. So yeah, I like to throw a couple more numbers on there and try to see if I can hit that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the biggest thing as well, with all the talent you guys have said that you have, and you're super confident in everybody around you. I think the goal for Central football is to be playing in Chattanooga in the first week of December, that Friday, Saturday in the state championship. Talk about, do you feel any pressures to kind of get to that point, and kind of what are your expectations this season? You guys playing 5A football. It's no joke. You've seen that. Talk about maybe some pressures and kind of how you're feeling towards the goal of winning a state championship.
Oh man, I definitely say it's rumors. I wouldn't say so much pressure, but people gonna talk, and you feel me. I'm ready. I'm ready to do it, man. Like you said, it's 5A football. Nothing's gonna get handed to you. You got to work, you got to fight, and there's countless great 5A football teams. Like Knoxville Central. They're a great football team. They gave us a run for our money. Week 2 in the playoffs, we lost. It's gonna be teams better than them that we play. Page, they're big dogs in 5A. Sevier County, they've got the Mr. Football winner, I believe. What's his name? Cooper Newman, I believe that's his name. Quarterback for them. Page has got a D1 commit at quarterback as well, I believe so. But yeah, man, we're gonna face adversity no matter what. So just prepping for that. The standard's definitely high. After we had a good run last year, a decent run, like you said, being region champs, getting into round 2. I don't know how long it's been since we got to round 2, but that happened. Breaking school records. There's never been 70 points scored in a game in Columbia Central history or whatnot. And me setting the records myself, I'm definitely held at a standard now. And I'm gonna compete at that standard. I'm gonna do what I got to do to take my guys to a state championship, man.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Dan, one last question that I ask everybody that comes on the Maury County Spotlight show. Obviously, this is a show about sports success in Maury County. At what point in your life did you realize that sports could help you become successful? When was that for you?
Probably say sophomore year. I'd probably say that when it clicks. Like, okay, I could get a degree off this. I could get a athletic scholarship mixed with the academic scholarship to go get a degree in whatever business, mechanic, psychology, or whatever, and I can make a living off of this. No matter if football goes the full route or not, I can get a scholarship off of this. I get an education. That's when it hit me though. Yeah, sophomore year, stuff started hitting. And I really started thinking about like, hey, this can change things. This can get me to places that nothing else gonna get me to unless it costs money.
Yeah, for sure. Dan, this episode has taught me a lot about you, and I feel like I knew you before, and I knew you before you became the quarterback and the great player that you are. But you've taught me a lot about how you've grown, matured over the years, as a man and athletically. And I think even if I wasn't a fan of yours before this episode and being a broadcaster, I think you're going to earn a lot more fans from this episode because you are somebody that a lot of people in Maury County need to root for, especially this year. because Central is probably going to be very, very good, I would probably say. And Dan, I just want to give you the opportunity one more time to send a message to any Columbia Central fans that want to come out and support you. You guys' first home game is week 3, I believe. So what's your message to anybody that wants to come see the Lions play?
And come support us. We're going to turn up. I hope we don't let y'all down. I don't plan to ever let y'all down. I appreciate y'all showing up for all the games. You know, it wouldn't be football without a crowd, man. And every home game's been crazy. You know, we have a pretty good amount of people there, and I appreciate everything y'all do for us, man. Come see us. We ain't gonna let y'all down.
Yes, sir. Well, this has been the Maury County Spotlight with Daniel Booker, quarterback of the Columbia Central Lions. Getting ready for week 1. We got an exciting football season coming in Maury County. Make sure to stay in touch with D Book, see what he's doing. Hey, Mr. Football Hopeful. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you for joining me, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Maury County Spotlight. I'm your host, Landen Secrest, signing off until next time.